Day 4. In Austin, Day 2 at South by Southwest. And the second day was also all about the theme of the future for me. Once again, it was the 2050 track, which is always well attended. And the nice thing is, much of what was said yesterday was actually confirmed. Namely, that the future remains unpredictable, especially in these dynamic times. When such political events occur, as they have in recent months, then nothing can really be predicted anymore. When technology develops as rapidly as it sometimes does, you often no longer know what might happen in the coming weeks, months, years, or decades. And accordingly, you have to prepare for it as a company or even as an individual. And precisely in this vein, the magnificent Amy Webb, probably the pop star, also made her mark at South by Southwest. Because she also clearly stated in her trend report and keynote that her trend report, created by her extremely renowned team, is not there to predict the future, but to navigate through the future, so to speak, to support and show companies where it might be heading, but above all, to enable them to engage with this dynamic future. Presenting her entire trend report here would definitely exceed the time limit. But perhaps I would like to, or can, share one keyword with you, namely the topic of convergence, which I extremely love and appreciate. Because convergence, as described by futurists, involves bringing together multiple challenges, technologies, and developments. And then the question arises, what happens when you combine these topics? And that's exactly what she did with her topic, because she said we need to, alongside artificial intelligence, as the core trend, the core technology trend of the current, present, and the future, actually connect it with other technology trends, such as bioengineering and sensor technology, which is currently operating at an extremely high level that we need to bring these 3 points together. So that means bioengineering, of course, AI, and the topic of advanced sensors. When we bring this together, she calls it living bioengineering and says, from this emerges a technology that is much more advanced and much more disruptive than what we might see with AI alone in the end. That means these systems can interact with each other. They can create responses that go far beyond just AI in isolation. And accordingly, this convergence is, I believe, a very, very central keyword for us. The brilliant Pferdt, formerly of Google, has also changed once again, similar to how Rui Bagawa actually described it yesterday. He also said that he doesn't really want to predict the future or anything like that. He wants to empower people to train the future themselves, to take the future into their own hands. And there were a few points that were quite central for me, namely the topic of curiosity, also because he emphasized it with a wonderful statistic showing how things change for us as adults, especially compared to when we were children up to 10 years old. As children, we ask 140 questions a day because we keep asking why, and so on. Why is that so? Why is that so? As adults, when we feel the need to ask questions, so to speak, we only ask 4 questions. And that's a statistic where I definitely say, yes, we should definitely be more curious. And then there was a third panel, which also impressed me quite a bit. A panel of renowned marketing professors who discussed and elaborated a bit on the topic of consumer science and consumer behavior. And for me, they kind of grounded everything again, bringing a bit of substance back into this extremely fast-paced, complex, and diverse world where we are all constantly sharing statistics on LinkedIn. Here a stance, there a stance, and everything is generally heading in that direction. Performance marketing and marketing will head in that direction. Brands need to do this and that and that. And those professors were really great again, well-founded and substantiated, because they said, hey, people, in this fast-paced world, we actually need to really bring back substance, yes, real, experiments, tests, and substance again, to perhaps give everything more foundation again. And there I found an insight, for example, totally fascinating, where the professors there said, this tactical scarcity, which we often use in marketing, currently, of course, we like to do it very often because we have the digital possibilities. We just pretend that our product is scarce. This can lead to people becoming less loyal to brands. That means they leave their brands because they say, I don't believe in this scarcity. Firstly, and secondly, it leads to these people searching in other browsers. And when you then consider that an actual sales tactic results in the sale taking longer, because you first start searching again, trying to find substance, and so on. Then we somehow have marketing already a bit on paper. That means we really have to be careful about how much performance orientation is actually good and how much we might need to act a bit more confidently and substantially, more trustworthily, for example, rather than always chasing the quick euro. And that was again such a nice counter-proposal, once again, to this whole fast-paced marketing world in which we operate. Perhaps also to assign one or another point back to science, so to speak, to have a bit of calm again, to have confidence and to see what good old science might be able to provide us here and there. And to approach the whole thing strategically and substantively, back to day 2 of South by Southwest. Tomorrow will be day 3, hopefully a bit less. I am